But he shares this story about this woman who, she wanted a relationship, and they were like going through just a lot of like clutter things. And truth have it that when they come to find out that they had, half of her bed was piled high with magazines. They're like, all right. So half of her bed, so she only left room for half of her bed. So it's like an outer example, like a physical example of what she was feeling on the inside. Like I said, how we do one thing is probably how we do another thing. And literally it was an out-of-body example, a physical example of what she was feeling inside, that she was not making room for somebody else. There was no room for somebody else on the other side of the bed. So, like, for me, like I shared, I mean, I'm still single, and I'm like, how am I going to expect to, you know, all of a sudden, like, have somebody in my life if I have no room for them? And this is what I'm talking about. Are you ready for something new? Truly ready. Like, not just in theory, this is what I want or this is what I need, but are you really ready? Are you creating that space for it? All right, good morning or good afternoon or evening, whenever you guys are watching this. Yeah, hi, good morning again. Like I said, 10 o'clock. Got out the shower. I'm feeling refreshed. This is Jasmine here. Obviously, you see my Facebook, Jasmine Anderson. And like I said, this is just a series that I am embarking on, which is just like a Jasmine Empower series. Every weekday, maybe, I don't know, we'll see how the weekend goes, but every weekday at 10 o'clock to just come and empower you, encourage you, and also ask questions. And maybe they might be tough questions, but ask questions that really get you to think about where can you take the next level in your own life. So the question that I posted, you know, are you ready for something new? And that sounds like a very, very simple question, but we're going to get into it. And first of all, as some people kind of start joining on, I want to thank you guys so much just for all the love, all the comments, everything from yesterday's posting of the live video feed. Today we're going to get into something that I think not only could change and impact our own life, but could change our family life, our home life, our friendships, our community, and then even to the greater, our city, our state, the country, and the world. You know, we're going to have some laughs, but at the same time, you know, last night, there's a lot of really heavy stuff going on in the world today, and you know, I would regret not even addressing any of that today. You know, yesterday and I'm still going to share some from my book, and even some from what scripture has to say about it, because literally this is something that I get to have in my own life, where on Wednesday night, the scripture that I'm going to read for you guys today, on Wednesday night literally took me to my knees, in just really figuring this out. So, like I said, are you ready for something new? And as we're kind of going, I encourage you, you know, answer that question for yourself. Like, are you truly ready? One thing that I thought was hilarious in, you know, yesterday's thing is one of my friends, Shelly, she commented, you know, like, in front of the closet. And yes, this is like my wall closet that's going on in the back. But it's so perfect, actually, because, you know, the lighting is the best coming this way, so that's why closet is the background. But it's actually quite perfect for what I'm talking about today, because I would love to know how many of you hate to do laundry. You're like, laundry, Jasmine, why are you talking about this? Because I hate to do laundry. And especially, you know, now as a single mom, it's like my laundry, it's Paul's laundry. And I don't mind separating it, you know, throwing it in there, but it's like putting it away and all that stuff. And usually if I've waited to do laundry too long, I will literally just start looking at my closet, and I'm going to be like, okay, what can I start to give away? What can I start to give away? So that way I don't have as many clothes, so I can just throw the clothes away. But it actually brings to mind, there's a saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? How you do all things. And so in Are You Ready for Something New? I know that I definitely in the past have been guilty of, and even now, like as I was praying and getting ready for this morning, I was like, are there more clothes in my closet that are old that I just am never going to wear again? Some of those that know me know that I've already given like bags and bags of clothes away. And I'd love to know if you have given bags and bags of clothes away and, are still wrestling with this issue. But one thing that came to mind and a part of what I'm going to be sharing as far as with the scripture for today is, here's the thing, guys, right? And this is why I said, are you ready for something new? Not do you want something new? Do you need something new? Are you ready for something new? Because in order to get something new, we gotta get rid of the old. We got to get rid of the stuff that no longer serves us. The things or whether it's, literal things or sometimes, and that's what I'm going to share about today, sometimes it's the stories that we tell ourselves that are no longer serving us, that are old, that we get to chuck out and replace with something new. And even like I said, as my heart has just been burdened for everything of what's going on, and I'm going to share with you really quickly just a little bit of why I decided, why when I prayed about it, that I felt like this was the right thing to share with you guys, because, in order for change to happen, like real change, I feel, to happen in our country, especially just with a lot of just murder and hate and shootings that are going on, in order to build and get something new, a new result, we gotta change old habits. We gotta get rid of the old thinking. We gotta get rid of our old way of interacting with each other. Maybe it's even old laws or whatever it is, like things that are no longer serving us. We gotta get rid of them in order to make way for something new. So like I said, I'm gonna be real brave today and just share a little bit about what that means for me. As some of you may know, I'm mixed. If you couldn't tell, some people think I'm Latina or whatever, but I'm actually mixed. My dad is black, my mom is white, and I've grown up in a mixed home my whole life, and my parents are still together today. And some of you may have gone through this work, like emotional intelligence, master in transformational training, but part of it is that, you're letting go of things in the past. And one thing that I was aware of, but I really didn't want to let it go, if you will, at the time, was that I seriously had, for lack of a better way to put it, I had issues and different stories just about black people, about my own people and where I come from. Different experiences in life had kind of led me to just really have my guard up. Different ways that my family being mixed had been ostracized by my dad's side, by my black side. Comments like my aunt one time, who, when she came over, hadn't seen us in a while, and asked about my brother, who's the Mexican boy. And I'm like, that's my brother. Like, he's black. Like, it was just crazy. And even being tased, having, that's a whole nother story, but being tased by a black guy. I have been tased by a black guy before at a party, and just different issues like that. Like I said, issues. And here's the truth, is that and this is why I'm talking about this, because either I could continue in that old habit and that old way of thinking of where I come from, like people that I come from. I could stay in that of like, oh, well, I don't date black people, or oh, like, every time you go to an all black function, this and this happens. Like, I could either keep that, or I could get rid of it, forgive, and replace it with truth, replace it with something new. And I think that that's what is available for us as far as moving forward, not just, like I said, on a whole country and even global scale of not about race, about color, but just changing old habits with something new. That's just in one very tangible, very fresh way. That, like I said, if I could be honest with you, that's something that I can admit that a few years ago, that was something that I got to work through. Like, let's just be honest, right? And then bringing it forward to whatever you're actually looking to create in your life. So I'm gonna read this scripture real quick, and it says, and this is in Isaiah 43, and it's 18 and 19. It says, I do not earnestly remember the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive and know it, and will you not give heed to it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And so, if you have any thoughts, I'd love to see some comments on that verse. But here's a couple things that I was just smack dead in the middle of the forehead with. Is it doesn't say that God is going to take you out of the wilderness. He doesn't say, this is how I'm going to do something new. I'm going to completely take you out of your situation. And I think even as like our country proceeds, like there's no there's no way out right now, right? Like, we are in the wilderness right now. But he says that I will make a way. Not only make a way, but a river. And I thought about, like I said, just even using the small example of a closet, like the one that is behind me, is that I think of it as this way, right? Of a rotation. If I continually get rid of older clothes, and replace them with new or reused or whatever, just new to me, clothes, right? And if it's this constant flow, right, of getting rid of the old, replacing with something new, getting rid of the old, replacing it with something new, then it's a flow that happens. It's a river that has life in it. It's something that continuing, it's something that replenishes, it's something that refreshes, that it's always moving. It's never sedentary. Things do not die there. It's continually bringing life, flowing in and out. And so that's, like I said, just a very, kind of almost not important, or if you will, like in the bigger scale of it. But I'm just challenged by this today for myself. And I just challenge you guys today with this, as far as where in your life do you get to experience a new river, a living river of things getting rid of things and making room for something new. So here's the thing, is like, I want to share also another story real quick. Just in, where's the book? Jack Canfield's Success Principles. I got it on my shelf. But he shares this story about this woman who, she wanted a relationship, and they were like going through just a lot of like clutter things. And truth has it that when they come to find out that they had half of her bed was piled high with magazines. They're like, all right. So half of her bed, so she only left room for half of her bed. So it's like an outer example, like a physical example, of what she was feeling on the inside. Like I said, how we do one thing is probably how we do another thing. And literally, it was an out-of-body example, a physical example of what she was feeling inside, that she was not making room for somebody else. There was no room for somebody else on the other side of the bed. So, like, for me, like I shared, I mean, I'm still single, and I'm like, how am I going to expect to, you know, all of a sudden, like, have somebody in my life if I have no room for them? And this is what I'm talking about. Are you ready for something new? Truly ready. Like, not just in theory, this is what I want or this is what I need, but are you really ready? Are you creating that space for it? So last thing that I'm going to do is, like I said, I've just been committed to share some excerpts from my book, A Broken Vow. It's available on Amazon. But this is also what I said in my book that I want to share with you guys. I say this again, it is never too late for God to restore you. But it starts with being aware and acknowledging the past, because Satan will keep it replaying in the back of your mind and will have it choose how you live your future. And so one of the first things about being ready for change is you got to acknowledge that you are done with the past. You have to acknowledge that it exists. Even, like I said, with the problem that we're having in our country today, like, you got to acknowledge that there is a problem that exists in order to change it. So if you're getting ready for something new, you got to acknowledge it. You got to acknowledge that there's even a problem and that there gets to be something new. You got to acknowledge it, forgive it, let it go, whatever you get to do to clear it away, and then you get to replace it with something new. And have that space for something new and be committed to it. Because here's the thing, if you just go through step 1, step 2 of acknowledging that there is a need for something new, that something's not working, if you just acknowledge it and you forgive it or you let it go or, you know, you dismiss it, well, then it's just an empty space. And then what are you going to do with it? Just let it collect dust? No, you got to replace it with something. Otherwise, those things are going to come back. I remember I shared with a friend of mine who's getting on a health journey, right? You know, and she was just saying, man, she's like, you know, this is literally a change that it's like she's changing the way that she eats, changing the way that she works out, changing the way that she's thinking about herself on the inside. And I likened it to this. As I said, you know, I want you to imagine that there is a room in your house. So in your house, there's lots of rooms, right? And I want you to imagine that you're in your house and there's this room. And let's just say you never open this room. This room is locked. You don't open it. You know, it's like even you go up to the handle and you think, oh, am I going to open it? And then you kind of back away. And you're like, maybe not. Maybe I'll get to it later. Okay? But what I want you to imagine is, like I said, if you want to get ready for something new, okay, let's say, you know, let's say in that house, in that room, you're getting ready for either like an office space or a new baby space or a workout space, whatever it is. You got to open the door and you got to acknowledge that it's a mess. Like, you got to acknowledge that that room is a mess. You got to acknowledge that that it actually exists, that it's not working, it's not how you want that room to look. Not only do you get to acknowledge it, right? That's step 1 when you're getting ready for something new. Step 2, you got to clean it out. You got to forgive, you got to let go. Do whatever you get to do to clean. And sometimes, guys, it's not just forgiving others. Sometimes it is forgiving others, and sometimes it's about forgiving ourselves. And asking God to do something new in that forgiveness. So like I said, you're cleaning out that room, but you can't just leave that room empty. As then what happens with empty space? You just end up putting more junk in it. Whether it's the same junk or different junk, you put new junk in it because you're like, hey, I have cleared space over here. And little by little, you start putting junk back in there in a space that you've already cleaned out. Okay? Like, ask us, how many times have we cleaned our garage? How many times have you cleaned your garage? How many times have you cleared off a desk space only for it to pile back up again? Okay? It's not enough, you guys, just to clear the space. And like I said, then you have to take care of it. What new wall paint are you going to put in it? What new furnishing? And really take pride in the fact that, okay, God, what do you want this room to be? How do you want me to create it? How do you want me to decorate it? Like, what do you want it to look like? And like I said, being ready for something new, whether it's, you know, a new person in your life, a new career, a new lifestyle change, or like I said, this is why I'm telling you, it could be something here, personal. What do you get to be ready for that's new in your life? Maybe it's in your family's life, your friends, and maybe it's in the community. And like I said, in step and enlarge and in the world. Guys, in order for these things in our country to change, all these tragedies, we get to acknowledge that there's a problem. We get to open that door, see the problem for what it is. We got to start clearing it out, cleaning it, forgive, letting go, changing stuff, clearing it out, get the dumpster, all the things that are not working. We got to start cleaning it out, and we got to replace it with new habits. We got to pray and ask God, what is it that's new that gets to change? You know, like I said, and I'll just end with this. It's just to see, and I was just up last night, just like I said, praying about this morning, praying for our country, and just seeing all these horrific things. Like I said, it's clear to me that it's not just going to take us leaving the door locked and closed and not visiting it in order for things to change. We have to be brave enough and have that courage that even though it is a junk heap mess inside that we've created, we got to open it up and see it and say, okay, I'm ready for something new. So I really encourage you. And like I said, this has been our episode for this morning. You know, it's going to every weekday every weekday that at 10 o'clock, I'll be sharing some thoughts, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks, Missy, for the comment. But we get to create room for something new to be done in our country, new to be done in our community, new to be done in our lives. Like, taking responsibility that it's going to start with me. How can I make room for something new today? So that is it for today, everybody. If you got a friend, or you know some people, or you want something new to happen within your community, in your family, maybe it's in a relationship with somebody, or like I said, in our country, just please share this and encourage each other to open the room, deal with the mess, and allow God to just come and breathe something new, something fresh. All right, guys, so I will be continuing to pray for that. Yeah, and like I said, we're going to be hitting a lot of different topics, so I hope that this always encourages and empowers you wherever you're at right now. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Thank you for everybody who joined me today. Have a blessed day. Bye, guys. I pray that you are empowered by this message. Need some more empowerment? Click down below to subscribe.